So thanks everyone for joining. We've started doing these webinars. I think this is our third one. We're doing them every quarter now, so we can keep you updated on a lot of the great improvements that we're making to House Pro. I would say most, if not all of them, are based on the feedback that we're hearing from you. So keep that feedback coming, because that's really how we identify our priority items to develop and to implement into the software. So today we have a bunch of things we'll be covering. We'll talk about some updates to our visual tools, including our 3D floor planner and mood boards. We'll also cover some updates to our financial tools, including online payments and documents. And then we'll get into project management, so selections tracker, schedule, and takeoffs.
Katie, we have quite a few people saying that they can't hear anything. It looks like Michelle says you have to click the screen to allow sound, guys. So see if you have an issue with that. Maybe try the mute button on your device. Make sure that's not on. See if that works for you guys. And then let us know if you're able to connect.
Yes. As a last resort, you can also always log off and then log back in. Sometimes that just solves things.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So before we start, we did want to launch a poll here just to understand, we have lots of great features in House Pro, but what other feature do you really wish that we had in House Pro? So you can feel free to answer that. We have a few other polls that we'll get into. And Abby, I think we forgot introductions.
Yeah, right? We jumped right on in.
Okay. So my name is Katie, and I'm on the product marketing team along with my colleague Abby. And so we work closely with our customers, such as yourselves, to understand how you're using the product and get your feedback. And then we also work really closely with our product and engineering teams to make sure that we're developing the right features for our customers. So with that, I think we can get started here. I will be going first. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so our first update, this is a really exciting one, to 3D floor plans. So for those of you who have not used 3D floor plans in House Pro, we offer a great tool that's good for you to use throughout your whole project. So a lot of our customers will use it in those really early stages, even before you close a lead, to help show your vision, show the project that you'll develop, and then include it with the proposal that you send them. And you can also use it throughout the project as you're developing more specifics around what your design will look like. So we do have a lot of great resources on the 3D floor planner. I'm not going to get into all the basics of how to use it here, but we can share some links to other webinars that we've done. What I did want to talk about is that we recently released photorealistic rendering in our 3D floor plan. So this is something we have gotten a lot of feedback about. I know some of you are even using other tools in order to get that photorealistic view. So let me show you here how you can get it. So you'll see this is a floor plan that I've already created, and you need to go either into dollhouse mode or walkthrough mode in order to do this. So we'll go here into walkthrough, and then let's just say we want to get an image of this dining room here. So you'll see on your right panel this camera with this little star next to it. You click on camera, and then you'll be in camera mode. So up here are the camera settings, so you can really adjust exactly how you want that picture to come out. So you can move the camera height, say you want to, raise it higher. It's probably a little too high, so we'll bring it back down. You can also change the tilt. So just as if you were to have a real camera there, you can adjust exactly what angle you want to see. And then the field of view. So if you want to maybe zoom out more to get more of the room, or you can zoom in a little bit closer here. So let's say that. And then you just click here. You can see we're in camera mode. These are camera views that I've already taken of the image. So you can also, if you want to update any of those, you can rename them or you can delete it. And then you click here to generate photorealistic image. And you can verify here the composition. So, yes, that looks good. Or if you want to go back and update it, we also have some tips here that show you exactly how to get the best results from your photorealistic image. But I think this looks good for now. So we'll click generate. And then it does take a few minutes for this to generate, but you'll see this pop up that you can keep working. So don't feel like you need to just sit here and stare at your screen. You can keep on working while this image is being generated. Click OK. And then once it's done, you'll get an email about it, and it will also be added to the files and photos of your project. So I did this a little bit earlier so I can show you the visual that came back, but this is the image that you get. Again, a beautiful, really realistic view of that room. And then you can also share it the way that you can anything else. You can, comment if you want to send a comment to one of your clients. Or if you want to comment into your team here, same thing, you can also download it. And again, this is accessible in your files and photos of that specific project. So it's a great way to keep everything organized here. Abby, do we have any questions so far?
Nope. Shan had asked about some information on making the floor plan. So I'm about to send that to you now, Shan. And I also sent the webinar for like a deep dive on 3D into the chat. So if anybody needs that, feel free to check out that link at any time.
Okay, great. And then the next thing that we wanted to show you on floor plans is that we recently introduced the ability to add an additional story onto a floor plan. So again, this is something we've had a lot of requests for. So this could be, maybe you want to add a basement or a second story. You can add up to 6 floors. So you could also use it as a way to create multiple floors to get a client's feedback on potentially multiple different versions before you finalize. So to do that, you just go up here. It says ground floor. And let's say we want to add an additional floor. We'll call it 3rd floor. And you can choose, basically what it's doing is duplicating that floor plan, the floor print. So you can say, if you want to copy the walls over, the windows, the stairways, if you want everything to copy, you can even add the furniture here. Just click add. And then you'll see it's created a copy of that. So you can work from this as like a blank canvas to add in furniture, to change, the layout of any of the rooms, the doors, the windows, etc. And then if you want to go back to that ground floor, for instance, you can just click here. You can also rearrange. Say if you wanted to add a basement or a different level, you can easily rearrange there. Any questions, Abby?
Yes, I do have a couple of questions. This is back to the photorealistic. Gail asked, where does the image pop up again?
So it will pop up. If you're still in your floor plan, there will be a little pop-up at the bottom here that says photorealistic image generated, and you can click on that. You'll also get an email that will have a link to view the image. And then the third place is that if you go here into your files and photos within that specific project, any images that you take will show up here.
Perfect. That answers Jennifer's question too. Yes, it auto saves to the files. And then we've had a couple of questions about being able to add your own products and finishes. So I can answer that. We don't have the ability to add your own right now. We're working on some ideas of how to do that. So each thing that you add in has to be 3D modeled. So it's quite a big task for our team. So we're trying to figure out some solutions and ways to make that happen, because we hear you guys, a lot of people are asking for that. So we're going to see what we can make happen. And then next question, Katie. Bridget asked, is it possible to create a smaller view of the inside of drawers and cabinets and use baskets and bins instead of large furniture pieces? She's an organizer in the design of interiors and would like to show clients how their cabinets, drawers, and pantries will look. So basically placing baskets and shelves, looking inside cabinets and shelves, that sort of thing.
Got it. That's great feedback. I don't believe that it's possible today, but I'll share that with our team. I think we actually recently got some other feedback that was similar to that. So I can give the feedback and then see if it's on the roadmap.
And then Sabrina asked about curved walls. Can we do curved walls in 3D?
I don't believe we can do that today, but again, we can follow up on that and make sure we provide the feedback.
And Stephanie asked, can we have stairways going down from the floor?
That I know is another common request. So again, not today, but that's something I know for sure is in our plans.
Yeah. And then, sorry, we got quite a few.
Yeah.
Stephanie asked, is there a way to lock walls so when I change the dimensions of a joining wall, it doesn't change the others?
Ooh, that is a good question. Let me see if I can test this. We may need to also, we'll make a note of that to follow up here.
Okay. Is there a way to have your business logo print on the photos or the 3D floor plan? I don't think so.
We do have labeling. I'm curious if that's something that could be done. Here, let me share my screen again.
Cool.
I don't think that you can necessarily add a logo like an image, but let me share. When you're in a room, you can click here to add a room label. And if you wanted to, add your company name or add something here, that's probably the best spot to do it for now.
Yeah. But we can definitely share with the team the feedback from a couple of you guys about wanting to have a logo on there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Mignon was asking about waterfalls and quartz on the backsplash. I don't think quartz on the backsplash is possible yet, but I think waterfalls is coming. I'm not sure if it's out yet. Do you know, Katie?
It's out imminently. Like I think probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Waterfall is something we've been working on.
Okay. Perfect. Very cool. Okay. Awesome. I think that you are good to keep going, Katie.
Okay, perfect. So next we're going to talk about some updates we've made to mood boards. So again, for those of you, Abby, can you see the mood board screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So for those of you who aren't using mood boards in House Pro, it's a really great way to lay out your initial design vision. And it also connects into our selections board and some of our other features. So you can add products here from multiple different places, from your library, here from the source tab as well. And we've made a few recent updates here. So one is that now when you share your mood board, you can choose to do it through the client dashboard. So you can print and download as an option. You can download PDF, JPEG, or print it. Or now you can also share it directly to your dashboard. So this is a great way for your clients to have everything in one place. Just click here, Publish to Dashboard. And then if at any point you want to unpublish it, just click here, Unpublish. So it'll, help keep you organized and also help keep your clients organized so they can easily access everything that you're sharing with them. Another update here is that we've added in snapping guides, so it's easier for you to rearrange products on a mood board. So if you click, for instance, here on this light, you'll see those dotted red lines come up, and those are here to help you just with placement of the product. So you'll see it can help you, center it within maybe the product below it or within the middle of the board. So again, just adding more ways here for you to help this mood board be more professional and aligned with what you want to show for your clients. And for those of you who haven't seen, we also recently added templates. So for instance, if you want to add your logo here, you can add that to save it as a template. Any questions on mood boards?
Let's see. Just making sure. Yeah, I think that we're good.
Okay, great. And then the last update is that we've recently added mood boards to the mobile app. So you can edit them on mobile, but you can share them with your clients or view them. So we've gotten a lot of feedback here that you just want to have access to mood boards when you're, out on the go. So I'm not able to share the app with you on my screen, but we do have this great help article, so I can just walk through. So when you're in the app, you'll see your mood board section here. And then you could either have it displayed as a list view like this on the left or in tiles. And you can also change it just by clicking on those little icons on top. And then once you're in a mood board, you can also click on this drop down to switch to other mood boards that are within that project. And then you can rename the mood board here if you want to. That's about it in terms of what you can edit. Any other edits will need to be made on the desktop, but it does give you some flexibility here. And then you can also really easily share it with your clients. If you click share here, then you can either choose to share it through a message, through a link, or via email. So again, just a really good way for you to have access to more things. If maybe you're not sitting in front of your computer, but you want your clients to be able to access these, you want to pull it up if you have a quick question. Any questions there, Abby?
No questions about that specifically, but lots of other questions. Sabrina asked, where do you save online selections to on Houzz? So Sabrina, we have the selection boards feature as well as the selections tracker, which we'll touch on for a second in a few minutes. Those are going to be your best bet places to put your selections. So if you use the clipper, you can clip products, save all your selections in one easy to use place. Next question, Michelle asked, can you create a mood board by adding all of the products from the project at once?
That's a good question. Whether you can basically like bulk add products.
Yeah, I don't think that you can do that, but if you use the project items feature in the top right-hand nav, it's going to show you all of the project items that are used on the project. So you could click those so that you don't have to like search through, you just kind of go through. That's a good idea to be able to add all. That's a great idea. I'll share that with the team for sure. And then we have a question about additional paint colors. I'll share that with the team as well, wanting the Sherwin-Williams Designer Emerald. Let's see. Jennifer, you asked about selections for mobile. It's not ready yet, but we are working on it. And it's going to be, I believe it's going to be view only at first. So you'll be able to view selections on mobile, hopefully very, very soon. And we'll have another one of these What's New webinars, and we'll announce it when it happens. So should be coming very soon for sure. And then Mary asked, can you explain how to put your logo as a photo? Could you share that again real quick, Katie?
Yes. Yes, 1 second. Let me just go back into it. Yeah, sorry, just give me one moment.
I'm going to send out a poll while you're getting set up too. So if you guys will just answer that question for us, let us know what your favorite feature is in Houzz Pro. We'd love to know.
Yes. Okay, great. Let me share my screen. Okay, so if you're in a new mood board, for instance, you can add an image. So if you have an image saved, say you can save your logo as an image. Anything else too, if you want to add your address, for instance, your company name, anything to help you feel more consistent and more professional, add it here. And then if you go up here to actions, you can click save as template, and then you can just rename that to, that's my template with my logo, create. And then whenever you go in, you'll see up here template. You can choose to create a mood board off of that template or create it just from scratch. I hope that helps.
And then Ashley, I see your questions about reports. If you are okay with it, I can definitely connect you directly with our team. I know that they're working on some improvements to the reports right now, so they'd love to incorporate your feedback. That's definitely a big thing that's coming. And then also we're going to have a feature coming very, very soon where you can compare your estimated versus your actual. So that might kind of go in line with that too. So that could be helpful. Let's see. Michelle's having some issues with problems loading the image. Michelle, when you have that issue, if you can take a screenshot and then chat in using the chat icon on the bottom right of your screen and say, hey, I'm having an issue with this project. Here's a screenshot. Our engineers can look into it. And that's how they can kind of like pinpoint exactly what the issue is and get that fixed. Yeah. Exterior elevations, I believe that they're hoping to do that next year for 3D, if that's what you're asking about, Jennifer. So it's not right now, but coming soon as well.
Yes, I know we've gotten that feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Good to keep going?
I think so. Yes, Robert, PPG, I've heard that one before. It may have been from you, actually. I recognize your name, but we're hoping to add some more different paint options as well. Links to your products and mood boards. Sorry, we got lots of questions today, Katie.
Yeah.
Links to products and mood boards. I believe that you can link to the product in the mood board, right?
I think you can as well. Let's see if I go in. Let me just play with this here. I can share. So I just added this product. Let's see. I think that if you click, Abby, am I confusing this with the selections tracker? I thought that if you double click, it gives you all the product details.
Yeah, I think that you're confusing that with the selections tracker. I'm pretty sure that you can, though. Maybe if you want to play with it, and I'll keep going, and then we can get through that. I think it might be on the actual preview of the mood board potentially.
Okay. Yeah. We'll explore them. We can let you know or follow up afterwards.
Awesome. Nikki, I don't think that you can mass export PDFs of proposals and POs. We don't have that functionality yet, but we'll definitely share that with the team. Lynn, great ideas. I will definitely share those as well. All the chat log will go out to our teams for the specific people who work on the feature. So everything that you guys are saying is very helpful. Manuela, you asked about the difference between selection boards and mood boards. Mood boards is really for you to kind of cast that initial design vision. Let's put things together, see if they look good together, put a couple of options together to get really early feedback from a client. And then your selection boards are when you're starting to get a little bit more final. You're picking out actual products. Maybe you're down to 2 tiles at this point, and you want to put both of those on there, show them to your client, get the final approval. It's really good for that. So you're going to get the final list of all the products and final selections. You can manage your client approvals process through that and all of that fun stuff. So that's kind of the big overarching differences between the two. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to move into the selections tracker.
I have, Abby, 2 more updates, actually.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So I'll just keep going and then I'll hand it off to you. So the first I want to talk about is instant payouts. So we probably about 2 months ago launched instant payouts with In-House Pro. So for those of you who may not be using online payments with us right now, we offer payment through ACH or bank transfer, and that takes 1 to 2 days for the money to hit your account, and that's at a 1% fee. We also offer payment through credit card, and that takes about 3 days to hit your account, and that's at a 3.5% fee. And these fees, what we've seen a lot of our designers will do is increase their markup as a way to embed the fee basically in their markup so their clients don't see that fee. Because some people probably don't want to pay a fee if it's on a very large project. So those are the 2 payment methods that we have right now. And then we recently launched instant payout. So this allows you to get your funds within minutes, up to 30 minutes, but usually even faster. And that does have an additional 1% fee. But we've seen some people use this. Maybe you don't need the full amount of money within minutes, but if you're doing a project, you want to keep it moving, maybe buy some products, you can choose to transfer just a smaller amount instead of the full thing. So let me show you just where you can see that within In-House Pro here. So if you go to settings, online payments, this account does have payments set up. But if you don't have set up, you can still go here to online payments, and that is how you will set up your payments. It just takes about 15 minutes. You basically have to verify your business, verify your bank account information, some of those details to get all set up. And then when you're in here, when you see a notification, you'll get a notification that you got paid on a certain invoice or on a certain proposal, and you can choose to get an instant payout now. If you click it, this money has already been transferred, but say if it hadn't been transferred, then you can choose to get it instantly. And then you also see this banner in the background that will show, say you have $10,000 in payments waiting for you, and you can click on the button to choose to transfer it instantly. We also do have the option when you're in your online payment settings, say that you want to opt into instant payouts for all of your future payments. You have the option here. So just check this box here to automatically initiate instant payouts. Again, for that 1% processing fee, we'll give you this confirmation. And then moving forward, all of your payouts you can get instantly. Abby, any questions there on instant payout or just on payments in general?
No, not so far. We have somebody with their hand raised, but I'm not really sure how that works. Katie, do you know how we address that?
No, I think if you have a question, yeah, you could just type it in.
Yeah, just type your question in the chat, Ashley. If it was the one about multi-page mood boards, it's in the works as we speak. But yeah.
Okay, Abby, I have one more update and then I will pass it to you.
Sounds good.
So this last one here is within documents, so within a proposal or an invoice, being able to save a scheduled payment. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here, for instance, if you've developed this proposal, at the bottom we have this payment section where you can schedule payments. So say you always have, the same payments, like you have a deposit, you have, a deposit upon completion and a midway payment. So you can rearrange here. And then you can also save it as default. So instead of needing to go into every proposal or every invoice and putting in that same payment schedule, just click here, save as default. And then moving forward, whenever you open up a new document, you'll see that payment schedule there. And again, if you are not set up for online payments yet, you can click this button here to set it up now. Otherwise, if clients are paying you offline, so through a check or through another method, you can always log that here just to help you stay more organized. Any questions there, Abby?
I don't think so. If people are having issues with payments taking longer and the initial setup taking longer, is there anything that you can recommend for those guys?
Well, I would say that the initial payment does take longer. That's a good point. So initial payment, because we have to do a bunch of checks on our end, basically risk assessment. So that could take anywhere, I believe, from like maybe 6 to 10 days. And then subsequent payments after that's all set up will be faster. But if you are running into any issues with the setup, I would say reach out to our team so we can investigate with our provider.
And then Gail asked, are payments in only charged the 1% or is there a larger percent taken?
Say that one more time.
She asked, are payments in only charged the 1% or is there a larger percent taken?
Well, so the 1% is if you choose to get that money instantly. Otherwise, if a client pays you through ACH or bank transfer, there's a 1% fee associated. And with credit card, it's a 3.5% fee. But you have options there. You can either offset it to your client, so just have them pay that fee, or you can embed it into your markup, as I mentioned, or you can choose to cover the fee. But we see a lot of people either offsetting it to their clients or as a best practice, embedding it directly into their markup.
Cool. And then Michelle asked, when they get an email about payments hitting their bank account, does that mean that House has sent the incoming client payment, or does that just mean that the client payment has been received by House?
Both. So I believe that we're sending notifications for both when the client pays you, so you know that you've been paid, and then also when that amount of money hits your bank. And we've gotten feedback in the past that sometimes you may get multiple payments at once, so it's unclear what the payments reflect. And so we've recently created a new email that should outline, if you get money deposited into your bank account, exactly which projects or which documents it's associated with.
Awesome. Okay. We will take things over from here. I'm going to cover some of our project management features, some changes there. So we're going to go through the selections tracker. There's been a couple of changes there, the schedule, and then also takeoffs. So let me just share my screen real quick. Here's screen. Let's see. Okie dokie, guys. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if you guys aren't using the selections tracker, you should definitely check it out. It recently had a pretty big facelift, and we covered that on our last What's New webinar. But a few things have changed since then that we've added in based off of y'all's feedback. So under the order tracking section, if you swipe over to your order tracking section, we added these 2 new columns with 5 new fields. So you can add in the lead time, the order number, the tracking number, who the shipping carrier is, as well as ordered by. Ordered by is my personal favorite. So let's say maybe the contractor is responsible for ordering this, or the homeowner is responsible for ordering this. You can add those details in, and then those are able to be used in the actual filters. And so those fields are going to be super helpful for you as you're doing your procurement process. The next thing that I want to point out on the tracker is the stacked versus flat view. Some people don't know about this. So I've run into a couple of designers that are like, it's too much to see everything on top of each other like that, but we have a remedy for that. So if you want to see everything more in a full wide spreadsheet view, you can just click this little icon at the top and switch it to flat, and you can see everything kind of expanded out horizontally. The con to that is that you have a little bit more scrolling to go through, but you get to see everything kind of in a nice, neat, linear fashion. So those are kind of the 2 big recent changes for the selections tracker. More stuff coming the rest of the year, so some exciting stuff still coming. The next thing that I want to cover is the schedule. But Katie, do we have any questions about the tracker?
Yes, one question from Michelle. They said, I put the shipping prices into the selection tracker and it doesn't show up on the proposal.
The shipping price, you put the shipping price onto the tracker and it didn't show up on the proposal. So you added it in probably like here. And it was already linked to a proposal. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll see if we get any extra details.
Yeah. I'll have to see what the issue is there. I know that it doesn't reflect some columns on the proposal, but it should update your shipping costs. So that might be a bug that you might want to share with us. So if you'll give us some more detail, that'd be awesome. And I realized, thank you for asking that, because I realized I missed one other thing. Another thing that we can do now in the selections tracker is convert things to a proposal or invoice. So let's say your client has approved this rug, this coffee table, and these 2 chairs, and you want to collect payment for it. You just check the 3 boxes next to those 3 items and hit convert at the top right. You'll have the option to either do a proposal or an invoice. If you do an invoice, it's going to have those 3 items. Just make sure you have the correct ones, and then you can convert those 3 items into an invoice. It's going to have your total down here at the bottom, so you have access to all the information that you need to see at a glance, and then you'll just convert it into an invoice. Something to note is that it's only going to work with draft items. So if it's already been on an invoice, you won't be able to add it to an invoice again. Or if it's already on a proposal, you won't be able to add it onto a proposal again. So just wanted to call those 2 nuances out to you guys. Any other detail or questions, Katie?
Yes, let's see. There was one from...
Okay.
So Alana was saying she doesn't use purchase orders for her business, but she uses them to track details. Does the selections tracker track everything that a purchase order tracks?
Yes. So all the columns and things that you would have on a purchase order would also show on your selections tracker. So if you had items on a purchase order, they would also show up in here. So yeah, it tracks everything the exact same way, as well as like the statuses and things. So like if you say this is ordered, it would update on the purchase order as well. So they work in harmony together.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So Patty is asking a few workflow questions. So she's saying she typically starts and ends with an invoice. What's the advantage of doing a proposal first?
You start and end with an invoice. So some people just like to work with proposals. So some designers propose the actual product at the very beginning. So they might go through and say, I've selected everything. I want to propose this exact rug, this exact coffee table, this lounge chair. So in my eyes, I see some people kind of use that as their selections process, like they're wanting to get client approval and then convert it into a proposal or an invoice, sorry. So it just depends on how you work. I feel like it's a mixed bag. The designers that I work with, some of them do it on an invoice base first, like they invoice for their time, then they do selections, then they convert that into an invoice for payment. And then some just start with a proposal. It's kind of just a personal preference thing.
Great.
And if anybody else has any feedback about how they do the proposal process, feel free to leave it in the chat. We're always open to learning more from you guys. So feel free to share your brainchilds with each other.
Great. A few more questions. Alana's asking, can you click items in the selection tracker and add them to an existing invoice or only to a new invoice?
Only to a new invoice. So you can just click them, convert, and then it's going to be a brand new invoice. It won't add them to an existing one, but I believe that you can merge invoices later on.
Okay. And then I think just stepping back, if you could explain for a minute how items get on the tracker.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways that items can get on the tracker. You can either add them directly from the tracker by using this add button at the top right. So this is going to be products that you've clipped or products that you've manually added into the library. Somebody asked earlier about manually adding. So just so you know, if you can't get the clipper to work or you don't like the clipper, you can add in products manually. So that's the two ways to get things to populate in this little add area from the tracker. But the primary way that people do it is from their boards. So you want to start with creating your first board. Maybe you have one for your kitchen, one for your bathroom, one for your living room. Set up all those boards and then start adding products to them. So we can look at my living room board here, and you can see that I've added this little sofa, this coffee table, this wallpaper, all of those things to my selections board. And again, you just do that on the right-hand side, either from project items that you've already used in other areas of house. You can just pull straight from the library, that sort of thing. So when you add those into your boards, they're automatically going to appear on your selections tracker. So that's kind of how that process goes. So in theory, you create your selection boards, you get your client approval. You can see here, these have all been approved by the client. Now I need to order them. So now I want to switch over to my selections tracker and actually track what I've ordered. So let's go back to that tracker. You saw all my items on my board. Now I know that this is approved. It hasn't been paid for yet because it's still in draft, but I'm going to go ahead and order it. So I'm going to go over here, add in some details like this has been ordered. This is back ordered. This is waiting for a quote. All of those different things. And then when you're at the point where you're ready to collect payment for it, if you haven't already, you could click check those items and convert them to an invoice. Another great thing is you can export too. So if you want to export like an FF&E schedule of all of your final things together, you can do that, share them with the shipping receiver, share them with a contractor. All of those different options are available.
Awesome. I'm just sharing a few additional resources into the chat. I sent the link to the Help Center for Selections, so feel free to look around there. There are lots of video tutorials and articles, and then also one on merging invoices.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie.
There were a few other questions. Let's see. So a follow-up from Brittany. If you edit a product on a proposal, does it also update the pricing in the selection board?
If you edit on the proposal, yes, it should update it on the selection board as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. So that's the, how there's project items. So that project item pricing would stay consistent throughout wherever you've used it.
Okay. And then I can take this one. Michelle's asking if you can. Oh, actually, maybe this is one back on the tracker. I think I read it incorrectly. Can you, sorry, I lost the question. Okay, I'll look for that. Let's see what else we have here. Thanks for all these questions. This is great. Okay, and then just some feedback. Michelle is suggesting being able to hide columns on the selection tracker.
Yeah, you can do that actually. So if you go up here to the customize icon, you can customize exactly what you see. So if you don't want to see document status, if you don't want to see details, you can turn those guys off. You can turn off just the sub columns as well. And if you need new specific columns, you can add those here as well. And then additionally, like if you want to rearrange, you can rearrange those columns however you see fit. So you can do that.
Amazing. Okay, great.
Fun. Cool. Anything else?
Let me just look in our Q&A tab. No, I think we're okay to keep going. A few really good suggestions here we'll bring back to the team as well.
Perfect. Yes. And now for the schedule. So if you guys aren't using the schedule already, the schedule can be a really great way for you to organize your process. Like I'm having my kickoff meeting. Now I'm doing some concept development. Now I'm going to have my first design meeting and then give some time for revisions, that sort of thing. You can kind of link this all together in a comprehensive schedule. So the big change here that we want to highlight today is being able to edit the start date. So previously, if you drug that first item, that's the only thing that moved unless you had everything interdependent and linked. But now up here in the top right, you can click the actions menu and click move project start date. So let's say this client needs a few more weeks. They're not quite ready to start the project. They want to start it July 19th. You just change that date and it's going to go ahead and push everything for you. So you see the entire schedule moved to Friday, July 19th as a start date now, and everything's adjusted accordingly. So that's the big update there. Any questions about the schedule, Katie?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Cool.
Oh, actually, sorry, there is one. Is there a calendar view for the schedule?
There is, yes. So if you look up here at the top, there's the Gantt view and there's the calendar view. So you can just switch to your calendar view right here. Looks like I'm in the wrong month since I just moved it, but you can also do that action here. So if you need to move the project start date, you can do it from this view, and on the calendar view, you can also move stuff as well. So you can just move those things around by dragging and dropping. So yeah.
Awesome. And then can you show also the overview, the schedule overview, so you can see different projects you have in the works?
Yeah. So over on the left-hand navigation of your House Pro account, you'll see the search bar. And then down here, you're going to have schedule overview. So under management, you have schedule overview, and it's going to show you all of your different project names here. And so you can toggle on and off ones that you do and don't want to see. I apologize. Mine probably don't have much in them, but you kind of get the concept. It would show two different colors if you had a different one in there.
Got it. Yeah. And then you can turn on or off any specific projects.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
We're getting a lot of love on this one.
Cool. Ready to jump over to takeoffs?
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. So again, if you're not using takeoffs, you totally should. It can be really helpful for you as you're doing like tile takeoffs and that sort of thing. And so the big change here is that we've added a way to hide and show layers. So let's say that we're looking at this primary bathroom here. I've marked it up. You can see the red is all of my tile. You can see that the orange is my countertops. And then I've gone through and counted some of the plumbing things that I'm going to need. I'm going to need four faucets in this floor. I'm going to need 4 sinks in this floor, toilets, but you can kind of see it's visually cluttering. There's kind of a lot going on. So what we introduced here is the ability to hide layers. So let's say we only want to look at the tile. Over here on the right-hand side, I'm just going to hit that eye icon and hid my countertop layer. And now I'm going to hide that plumbing layer, and you'll see those icons disappeared. So you can kind of choose what you want to see and when you want to see it. And then additionally, at the very top, you can click the overall measurements at that measurements header. Click that to hide all of your measurements. If you need to get back to the basics, look at just the blank floor plan, you can do that as well. So this is really great. It also fixed some issues that we were having with deduction. So if you've had any weird issues with deduction, this also fixed that. Some people were experiencing where like if they had shapes overlapping, it was deducting incorrectly. So this solution has fixed that as well. So good stuff. And we just recently had a really great takeoffs webinar, which I think, Katie, you probably have a link to that you could share if you guys are interested in learning more about takeoffs. It's a really awesome tool.
Yes, that will be ready probably in another week or so.
Cool.
We can share with you.
Awesome.
Let's see. But yeah, Jennifer, in the meantime, I can share the link to the help content too on takeoffs.
Perfect.
A few questions. Can you upload CAD plans into a takeoff, or how do you get that initial plan?
You can't do CAD plans. You can upload a PDF though. So if you like use, let's say, whatever program you have your CAD from and you just export it as a PDF, you can upload that directly into House Pro and then do your takeoffs that way. So if you watch those help tutorials, it'll show you how to do all this, but you basically just set your scale initially. So you can see this known length is 52 foot 7 inches. So it'll try and auto detect it, but it's always best to kind of double check that. So you can find your scale super easily just by measuring a known length on the page. And so it's really, really simple and user friendly. But yeah, once you export those out, import them in, set your scale, and then you're off to the races. You can do your rectangles, your polygons, you can count specific items, you can organize them like I have done here, color coordinate them, all of those fun things as well. And then we also have automate for takeoffs, which is new. So if your plan is like highlighted in bluish purple, like you see here, it's going to auto detect things for you, and it will automatically do your takeoff. So let's see if I can get it to work here. Oh, nope. AI doesn't like me today. So the idea is that when you just hover over the room, it automatically detects it for you. But unfortunately, it's playing games with me today. So yeah.
One other thing you can do if you don't have a floor plan is you can create one in the 3D floor planner in House Pro and save it as a PDF and then upload it into the takeoff tool as well.
Yeah, that's another great point.
Abby, can you do a takeoff for wallpaper?
Yes, you can do a takeoff for wallpaper as well. So let me share my screen again real quick. Let's see. So if you use this cube icon right here, so let's just pretend that this primary shower pan tile was said wallpaper instead. Let's just change it, wallpaper. You can do this cube button right here, and you can add in your height, your width, your depth, pitch, any of those details that you want. So let's say that it was 10 feet. So now we know exactly how much we need. Yeah. So same thing, like if you were doing like a vanity wall of tile, that sort of thing, same concept.
Yeah, I know wallpaper is something we hear a lot about, so it's a pretty good use case for takeoffs.
Yeah.
It looks like that is all of our questions. We do have another few minutes, so if anyone wants to add questions, we also have another poll here we can launch. Just to understand, what's your preferred way of learning about feature updates? We're always making them in House Pro. Just really want to make sure that you're informed. What about window treatments? Victoria's question, and I assume in takeoffs as well.
You could measure the windows if you have the like exterior elevation, you could measure the window, but probably wouldn't. I would probably defer to doing a physical in-person measurement for window treatments since they're so finicky. Just to be sure, you technically could, but I probably wouldn't. You want to make sure that you're in. If it's a inset Roman, you want to make sure it's inside the trim. It's probably better to do it in person.
Okay, great. Well, it looks like that is all of our questions.
Cool.
Thank you everyone so much for joining, and feel free to reach out to our team if you have any other feedback or questions here. We always love to hear.
Yes, thank you guys.